जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday, 25th of January 2025. It is Magha Masa or Madhava Masa, Krishna Paksham and Ekadashi Tithi. So today is Satyala Ekadashi. So fasting from grains, beans and cereals and any kinds of seeded fruits. Okay, so we shall read some lines from Satyala Ekadashi. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read the Satyala Ekadashi Vrata story?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Sri Dalbhya Rishi said to Pulastya Muni, when the spirit soul comes in contact with the material energy, he immediately begins to perform sinful activities such as stealing, killing, and illicit sex. He may even perform many other terrible deeds, such as killing a Brahmin. O purest of personalities, please tell me how these unfortunate souls may escape the punishment of being sent to hellish regions of creation. Kindly inform me how, by giving even a little in charity, one may be easily released from the reactions of his sins. Pulasthimani replied, O fortunate one, you have asked me an important and confidential questions which not even Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva or Indra has ever asked. Please listen very carefully to my answer. With the arrival of the month of Magha, January to February, one should bathe, carefully control his senses by giving up lust, anger, pride, jealousy, fault finding, and greed, and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. One should then gather up some cow dung before it touches the ground, and after mixing it with sesame seeds and cotton, form 108 balls. This should be done on the day when the constellation of Purva Ashara Nakshatra arrives. Then one should follow the rules and regulations of Sri Ekadashi, which I shall now explain to you. After bathing, the person who intends to observe Ekadashi should worship the Supreme Lord. While praying to Lord Shri Krishna by chanting his holy name, he should promise to observe Ekadashi fast. He should remain awake overnight and perform a homa, fire sacrifice. Then the devotee should perform an arati ceremony for the pleasure of the Lord, who holds a conch, disc, club, and so on in his hands, offering him sandalwood paste to his feet, incense, camphor, a bright ghee lamp, and delicious food preparations. Next, the devotee should offer the 108 balls of cow dung, sesame seeds, and cotton wool into the sacred fire while chanting such holy names of of the Lord as Purusha Shukta and other names. Throughout the whole day and night, he should also observe the standard Ekadashi Vrata fast, which in this case is fast from all kinds of grains and beans. On this occasion, one should offer the Lord pumpkin, coconut, and guava. If these items are unavailable, betel nut may be substituted. The devotee should pray to Lord Sri Janardana, the benefactor of all living beings, in this way. O Lord Sri Krishna, you are the most merciful personality of Godhead and giver of liberations to all fallen souls. O Lord, we have fallen into the ocean of material existence. Please be kind to us. O lotus eyed divinity, please accept our most humble, affectionate, and respectful obeisances. O protector of the entire world, we offer you our humble obeisances, respect again and again. O Supreme Spirit, O Supreme One, O Source of all our forefathers, may you and your eternal consort, Srimati Lakshmi Devi, please accept these humble offerings. The devotee should then try to please a qualified Brahmin and, with warm welcome, a pot full of water, Purna Kumbha, an umbrella, a pair of shoes and cloth dhoti and angavastra, requesting him at the same time to bestow his blessings by which one may develop unalloyed love for Lord Shri Krishna. According to his ability, one may also donate a black cow to such a Brahman, particularly who to one who is well versed in all the injunctions of the Vedic scriptures. One should also offer him a pot full of sesame seeds. O, o exalted Dalbhya Muni, black sesame seeds are especially suitable for formal worships and fire sacrifices, while white or brown ones are meant to be eaten by a qualified Brahmin. One who can arrange to give both kinds of sesame, black and white or brown, especially on this Sattila Ekadashi day, will be promoted to at least the heavenly planets after leaving this present body. For as many thousands of years as number of seeds that would be produced if the seeds he donated were sown in the ground and grew into mature seed-bearing plants. O this Ekadashi, a faithful person should first, bathe in the water mixed with sesame seeds. Second, rub sesame seed paste on his body. Third, offer sesame seeds into the fire sacrifice. Fourth, eat sesame seeds. Five, give sesame seeds away in charity. Six, accept charitable gifts of sesame seeds. These are the six sat ways in which sesame seeds, tila, are used for spiritual purification on this Ekadashi. Therefore, it is called Sattila Ekadashi. The great Devarshi Narad Muni once asked the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, O mighty armed Lord, O you who are so affectionate to your loving devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. O Yadava, kindly tell me the result one obtains by observing Sattila Ekadashi. Lord Shri Krishna replied, O best of twice born Brahmana, I shall I shall narrate to you an account of an incident I personally witnessed. Long ago on earth there lived an old female Brahmin who worshipped me every day with controlled senses. She very faithfully observed many a fast, especially on special days honoring me. My various appearances, days Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Vaman Dwadashi, Narasimha Chaturdashi, Varaha Dwadashi, Gaur Purnima, etc. The calendar, and served me with full devotion, devoid of any personal motive. Her rigorous fasting made her quite weak and thin. She gave charity to Brahmins and to young maidens, Kanyas, and even planned to give away her house in charity. O best of the Brahmanas, although this spiritually minded woman gave charitable donations to worthy people, the odd features of her austerity was that she never gave food to Brahmanas or the Devas, demigods. I began to reflect on this curious omission. This fine woman has purified herself by fasting on all auspicious occasions and by offering me strict devotional worship. Therefore, she certainly has become eligible to enter my personal abode, which is unattainable by ordinary persons. So I came down to this planet to examine her, disguising myself as a follower of Lord Shiva, complete with a garland of skulls draped around my neck and begging pot, Kamandula, in my hand. As I approached her, she said to me, O respectful one, please tell me truthfully why you have come before me. I replied, O beautiful one, I have come to get some sacred alms from you. Whereupon she angrily threw a dense lump of mud into my begging pot. O Narad Muni, I simply turned around and went back to my personal abode, astonished at this fine Brahmani's peculiar mixture of great magnanimity and stinginess. At last, this austere lady reached the spiritual world in her self same body. So great were her efforts at fasting and charity, and because she had indeed offered me a lump of mud, I transformed that mud into a beautiful home. However, O Naradji, this particular house was just like that mud, completely devoid of any edible grains as well as any furniture or ornamentation, and when she entered it, she found only an empty structure. She therefore approached me and said with great anger, I have fasted repeatedly on so many auspicious occasions, making my body weak and thin. I worshipped you and prayed to you in so many different ways, for you are for you are truly the master and protector of all the universe. Yet, despite all this, there is no food or wealth to be seen in my new home. Oh Janardana, please tell me why is this? I replied. Please return to your house sometime later. The wives of the devas, demigods, will pay you a visit out of curiosity to see the new arrival, but do not open the door until they have described to you the glories and the importance of Sattila Ekadashi. Hearing this, she returned to her house. Eventually, the deva's wife arrived there and in unison said, O beautiful one, we have come to have your darshan. O auspicious one, please Please open the door to your house and let us see you. The lady replied, Oh, most dear ones, if you want to open this door, you will have to describe to me merits one obtained by observing the sacred fast of Sattila Ekadasi. But to this request, not even one of the wives responded. Later, however, they returned to the house, and one of the wives nicely explained the sublime nature of this sacred Ekadashi. When the women at the w- when when the lady at last opened the door, they saw she was neither a demigoddess, a Gandharvi, a she demon, or nor even the Nagapatni. She was simply an ordinary human lady. From then on, the lady observed Sattila Ekadashi, which awards all material enjoyment and liberation at the same time, as it has been described to her. And she finally received the beautiful furnishing and grains she had expected for her home. Moreover, she wa- her once ordinary material body was transformed into a beautiful spiritual form made of Satchit Ananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss, with a fine complexion. So, by the mercy and grace of Sattila Ekadashi, both the lady and a new home in the spiritual world were at last radiantly splendid and lustrous with gold, silver, jewels, and diamond. O Naraji, a person should not ostentatiously observe Ekadashi out of greed, with the hope of attaining wealth dishonestly. Selflessly, he should simply donate sesame seeds, clothes, and food according to his capacity, for by doing so, he will achieve good health and exalted spiritual consciousness after birth. Ultimately, he will be given release from the bonds of the world, liberation, and admittance to the Lord's supreme abode will be his to enjoy. This is my opinion. O best of the demigods, Dev Rishi, O Dalbhya Muni, Pulastha Rishi concluded, one who properly observes this wonderful Sattilekadashi with great faith become free from all kinds of poverty, spiritual, mental, physical, social, and intellectual, as well as all kinds of ill luck and evil omens. Shakuna. Indeed, following this Ekadashi fast by donating, sacrificing, or eating sesame seeds frees one of all past sins without a doubt. One need not wonder how this happens. The rare soul who properly performs these acts of charity in the right devotional mood, following the Vedic injunctions, will become utterly free from all sinful reactions and go back to Godhead, back home to the spiritual world. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Magha Krishna Ekadashi or Satyal Ekadashi from the sacred Bhavishya Uttara Purana of Srila Krishna Dvayapayana, your humble servant Chintamani Sakari Dashi. Satyale Ekadashi ki Jaya.
Jai.
Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's a Satyala Ekadasi, that is from events perspective. So fasting from grains, beans, and cereals, but one can eat sesame seeds as per the Vrata. Okay, so that is from the events perspective. Okay, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, see Sukadeva Goswami describing to Parikshit Maharaj about the Virat Rupa and different kinds of limbs are being manifested in his body. So mouth, palate, tongue, nose, and then eyes, and then ears, skin, and then later on the hands, and then legs. So we have seen yesterday the legs were manifested for whenever the Lord desired to move, and also the deity for the legs is the Vishnu Yajna. Gatim Jageshitha Padu Ruruhati Abhikamikam Padbyam Yajna Swayam Havyam Karma Bihi Krite Dubihi. So this is whenever the living entities are needed to perform uh, so many sacrifices only meant for pleasing the Hari. At that time, so here Virat Rupa has got desire, that kind of desire. So he wanted to move, and so he took that very the position. So Prabhupada has mentioned. Uh, So therefore, the Lord has got special control over the legs of all human beings, which are meant for performing yajnas. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is describing to Parikshit Maharaj. So now the hands and legs are done, and then next further limb is getting formed. And here Sukadeva Goswami says, so it is about the genital. So Virata form of the Lord, whenever he decided to uh, beget the children and also have sensual sexual pleasure, which is the most heavenly. At the time, the Lord has got the genital formed, and then along with that genital, so the preceding deities, the Prajapati, is also manifested. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 10, verse number 26. निर्विज्यत शिष्णो वै प्रजानन्दामृताधिनः उपस्थासित कामानं प्रियं तदुभयाश्रयम्. Nirbijyata Sisno Vai. Nirbijyata. So it came out Sisno Vai, the genitals. It certainly, Vai, certainly. So the genital has manifested. Prajananda Amruta Ardinaha. Amruta Ardinaha. Prajananda, the sexual pleasure. Amruta Ardinaha. It is like aspiring to taste the nectar. Prajananda Amritardhinaha. So this is the only thing of the materialistic world. Because of that, so many living entities are generated. So progeny is expanded. Otherwise, if there is no happiness in that sexual pleasure, no one will be begetting the children, taking the necessary hard tasks, and then maintaining the family and children. So here Prajananda Amritardhinaha. Upastha asit kamanam. Upastha, the male or female are gone. Asit, it came into existence. Upastha asit kamanam. Kamanam, of the lustful, to fulfill their desires. Of the prajananda amritadhanaha. Priyam tad ubhayashriyam, and priyam, it is very dear. Tad, that one, ubhayashriyam, it is shelter for both. The both is the one is the sensual pleasure and also presiding deity is the Prajapati. So that is priyam tad ubhayashriyam. Nirbijyata sisnovai prajananda amritadinaha upasthasit kamanam priyam tad ubhayashriyam. So translation for this verse. So thereupon, for sexual pleasure, begetting offspring, and tasting heavenly nectar, the Lord developed the genitals. And thus, there is the genital organ and its controlling deity, the Prajapati, the object of sexual pleasure, and the controlling deity are under the control of the genitals of the Lord. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request Jahnukanya Mataji to read the purport if available? Okay, if not, can I request Saranya Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The heavenly pleasure for the conditioned soul is sexual pleasure, and this pleasure is tasted by the genitals. The woman is the object of sexual pleasure, and both the sense perception of sexual pleasure and the woman are controlled by the Prajapati, who is under the control of the Lord's genitals. The impersonalist must know from this verse that the Lord is not impersonal, for he has his genitals on which all the pleasurable objects of sex depend. No one would have taken the trouble to maintain children if there were no taste of heavenly nectar by means of sexual intercourse. This material world is created to give the conditional souls a chance for rejuvenation, for going back home, back to Godhead, and therefore generation of the living being is necessary for upkeep of the purpose of creation. Sexual pleasure is an impetus for such action, and as such, one can even serve the Lord in the act of such sexual pleasure. The service is counted when the children born of sexual born of such sexual pleasure are properly trained in God consciousness. The whole idea of material creation is to revive the dormant God consciousness of the living entity. In forms of life other than the human form, sexual pleasure is prominent without any motive of service for the mission of the Lord. But in the human form of life, the conditioned soul can render service to the Lord by creating progeny suitable for attainment of salvation. One can one can beget hundreds of children and enjoy the celestial pleasure of sexual intercourse, provided he is able to train the children in God consciousness. Otherwise, begetting children is on the level of the swine. Rather, the swine is more expert than the human being because the swine can beget a dozen of piglets at a time, whereas the human being can give birth to only one at a time. So, one should always remember that the genital, sexual pleasure, the woman, and the offspring are all related to related in the service of the Lord, and one who forgets his relationship in the service of the Supreme Lord becomes subjected to the threefold miseries of material existence by the laws of nature. Perception of sexual pleasure is there even in the body of the dog, but there is no sense of God consciousness. The human form of life is distinct from that of the dog by the perception of God consciousness. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so here Prabhupada is describing about this one. So these are all sexual pleasure. So about the living entities, that is, which is making conditioning the living entities here. भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थि सिद्ध्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे. When that knot is cut, which is binding a living entity, then only one can see the real picture of himself. Okay, so there again, this is the desire, that living entity attraction between the male and female, it is the most strong than any other attraction. So that Kapil Bhagavan also explains. And also, this is also mentioned, this world is also called Maitunagara, the place of where all this sex it takes place, and then people or the progeny is expanded further. It keeps on going. All the living entities are engaged in the same activity. But who is one desiring to go out of this universe? This uh, so there, then one has to take to the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there, this is called a Vyasana or the Bhoyo Yata Vyasanam Yetad Anekarandra Mame Bhavishiti Upasadita Vishnupadaha. The baby in the womb, he prays to the Lord in his prayers. Tasmadaham Vigita Viklava Uddharishya Atmanamasu Tamsaha Sukrudatmanaiva. Bhoyo Yata Vyasanam Yetad Anekarandram Mame Bhavishiti Upasadita Vishnupadaha. I should not enter into another womb of a mother again. So in such a way, he comes with so much of determination. He will make the prayers to the Lord and then come into this material world. But he will forget everything as soon as he come into the world. Okay, and here again, Jan Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunam cha Samanyametat Pasubihi Naranam. This is Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam cha. These four principles are Samanyametat Pasubihi Naranam, equal to the humans and also the animal beings. Dharmohi Hesho Te Dharmohi Tesham Adiko Vishesho. Only Dharma, it is differentiating the human when compared with the all other living entities. Dharmo hi hena pasubihi samana. If that dharma is not there and simply living just like a cats and dogs, then he is nothing but a pasubihi samana, equal to the. So that is equal to the animals. So and here that kind of animals have got these four principles: ahara, nidra, bhayu, maitunam. So this maituna is the one of it. So and this pleasure is tasted by the genitals. And also Prabhupada in the other way, he also mentioned the layer of the skin. It has got that propensity to give the pleasure to the each other opposite sex. So because of that, they are more entangled. The woman is the object of the pleasures of the sexual pleasure, and both the sense perception of the sexual pleasure and women are controlled by the Prajapati, and who is under the control of the Lord's genitals. Okay, so this is about the demigods and the impersonalist. So there, one of the disciple of Prabhupada was asking in a letter, maybe it was new to because they may be thinking about the God they didn't have. So do you think that Krishna has got genital something like that? And he was asking. So am I asking horrible question? Then Prabhupada said, no, you are not asking such kind of question. So it is a valid only. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning the Lord has his genitals. He is a Purusha, on which all the pleasure objects of sex depend, and no one would have taken the trouble to maintain children if there were no taste of heavenly nectar by means of sexual intercourse. But this is only a how much time it would last for? It is hardly a few minutes. Uh, This is lava. This तावद् भयं द्रविणदेह सुहृन्निमित्तं शोकः स्पृहा परिभो विप्लश्य लोभः तावन्ममेति असद् अवग्रहात्. So there, lobha manusu akushalani shashvat, just for the moments of kama lava, only for the lava matra, just for the moments. For that greediness, he will lose. Lobhavibhuta manuso akushalani shashwat. He will keep all his mind and intelligence, everything for a long time. He will put that kind of auspiciousness as a stake for his a few moments of pleasure. But here, that is where one's intelligence will be degraded. That is, even the one is very intelligent, when he goes to the opposite sex, then immediately Prabhupada is to mention, men are just like a butter, women are just like a fire. When butter goes to nearer to the fire, it will melt. Okay, but anyway, that is another angle. No one would have taken trouble to maintain the children. So here, maintaining the family, it is not an easy task. It is a lifetime commitment. If one knows this kind of troubles before that, one who is in fully knowledge, they would not enter into this Grahastha Dharma at all. Who is a proper person who understands, like our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. He had dedicated himself directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Naistika Brahmachari. So this material world is created to give the conditioned souls a chance for the rejuvenation, for going back home, back to Godhead. And therefore, generation of the living being is necessary for upkeep of the purpose of creation. So here, for example, Daksha Prajapati, he is meant for creating the progeny. So Brahma has asked him to go and expand. And Daksha Prajapati was doing all kinds of, initially, in the beginning, he was like Daksha Prajapati and Prasuti. He begot so many of daughters out of that Sati, who is the wife of Lord Shiva. Uh, and then later on, there is a Daksha Yajna, and there is offense to Lord Shiva. And later on, Daksha was punished and he got the goat head. And then, in due course of time, he left his body. Again, in next birth, he became again Daksha Prajapati in the second birth. Again, at that time, he was begetting 10,000 children. But he asked them, just go and perform austerities and penances and come back so that you will be fit to expand your progeny and rule the kingdom. And then, but Narada Muni, he went and then he was preaching Krishna consciousness to all the 10,000 children. They became the devotees and they did not enter to Grihastha. And later on, again Daksha Prajapati, he was bit upset. Again, he begot other 1,000 children. And then again, he asked them to go and perform austerities and penances. But Narada Muni, again, he came and then he was preaching. So, the same concept. So, your elders, they have gone to the liberation path. What about you? Then they also took the same path. Now, Daksha Prajapati got angry. I curse you, O Narada, so you would not stay at one place within a single direction. So, but he took that opportunity to just wander and preaching Krishna consciousness. But actually, whenever we are begetting a children, the main thing is the children should be in the Krishna consciousness. Live auspiciously and live according to the Vedic injunctions, and giving an opportunity for the conditioned souls to be trained in Krishna consciousness and go back to Godhead. So for that one, sexual pleasure is an impetus for such action, and as such, one can even serve the Lord in the act of such sexual pleasure. So this one, even the Rishabhadev, he begot 100 children. All are out of 100 children, more than 90 children became Brahmanas. And then very few, and they are, and then 9 of them became Navayogendras, and then and Bharat Maharaj. So he is the eldest son of the Rishabhadeva. So when we have got such kind of children, we can beget as many when they are in Krishna consciousness. So that service is counted when the children born of such sexual pleasure are properly trained in God consciousness. The whole idea of material creation is to revive the dormant God consciousness of the living entity. That is the main purpose. Elevate, that is a Vasudeva Sthiti. Once he is in the Vasudeva Sthiti, he does not belong to this material world anymore. He goes back to the spiritual world. So in the form of life, so here when we are in the living entity, it is a symptom mano buddhir ahankara chittamiti antaratmakam. This is mano buddhi ahankara chittam. So these are four are the antahkaranas. Chittam is the consciousness. When the living entity come into this material world, these four are in the contaminated state. But the consciousness is the essential thing that needs to be complete. Whenever it is purified, that becomes a Vasudeva Sthiti or Vasudeva Sthiti. So at that time, once it is purified, he does not belong to this material world anymore. He'll go back to Goloka or Vaikuntha based on his mode. And then here, the whole idea of material creation is to revive the dormant God consciousness of the living entity. It is awakened. Everyone has got that God consciousness, but it is in dormant in all the living entities. It needs to be awakened. Sanjayavayati akila sektidhara swadamna. Yontah pravishya mamavachim imam prasuptam. Dhruv Maharaj mentions when he was uh, mm, when he meditated for so long, for 5 or 6 months, and then Lord has appeared, but he was standing in front of the Lord, keeping his hands full. Krutanjalim Brahma Mayena Kambhuna. And then Paspasha Balam Krupaya Kapole. When he was just simply standing there, what to do? Then at that time, the Lord touched the conch shell on his head. Paspasha Balam Krupaya Kapole. Then Krutanjalim Brahma Mayena Kambhuna. And he took that conch shell and touched it. Then everything was revealed into his mind. Evam Tadave Pritpaditam Giram. And what to speak. And that is Daivim Parajnata Paratma Nirnayaha. Daivim Parajnata Paratma Nirnayaha. So Tam Bhakti Bhavo Abhyagrunat Asatparam. So he has glorified Lord in such a way because that consciousness, Parajnata Paratma Nirnayaha. In such a way, everything will be revealed into him. All the senses will be awakened from the dormant consciousness to in the enlivening state. In that particular time, Dhruv Maharaj starts glorifying the Lord. Yuvantaha pravisya mama vachim imam prasuptam sanjyavayati akila siktidara swadamna. Sanjivayati, oh my dear Lord. So you are awake, you entered into me. Yontaha pravisya mama vacham imam prasuptam. You enter into me and you are exhibiting my words. Imam prasuptam, which are already in the dormant state. Sanjivayati akila siktidara swadamna. You are enlivening all my senses. Anyamsha, hasta, charana, sravana, tvagadi, prana, namo bhagavate, purushayatubhyam. So what he is mentioning, what are the senses got enlivened? Hasta, charana, sravana, tvag, adin, pranan, along with the life air and all the senses, the Lord is awakening. That is Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam, and he is offering his praise to the Lord. That is dormant consciousness. So, in the forms of life other than the human form, sexual pleasure is prominent without any motive of service for the mission of the Lord. So, but in the human form of life, the conditioned soul can render service to the Lord by creating progeny suitable for the attainment of salvation. So this is where we can attain the salvation, just like in the Ekadasi Vrata, even the Brahmini, old woman, even she has got capacity to go in his personal body to the Vaikuntha planet. Okay, so and one can beget hundreds of children and enjoy the celestial pleasure of sexual intercourse, provided he is able to train the children in God consciousness. Previously, we used to everyone, at least they begot 10 children. If we see this, even Krishna also, he begot 10 sons in each and every wife. Out of 16,108 wives, he begot 10 sons. And even for if you have 10, 50 years back or 100 years back, people used to beget at least 10 children. Still, we see some of them are still demand, but now it is that concept is not 10 children. People are more of into sense gratification and they are not into the God consciousness. Otherwise, begetting children is on the level of the swine. Swine is the nasty pig. very dirty pig. So, and rather so Prabhupada is mentioning that pig is, it can beget more than 10 piglets at a time. So, and again, one should always remember that the genitals, sex pleasure, the woman, and the offspring are all related in the service of the Lord. And one who forgets this relationship in the service of Supreme Lord becomes subjected to the threefold miseries. He fall into the tapatrayas. We can beget hundreds and thousands of children. They will be, when they are in God consciousness, Lord will give all the sustenance as well. The food and cloth and shelter he will provide. But it is the common injunction. Previously, people were not that much rich, but they used to have that many children, 10 children, a small hut. People used to sleep in a small hut. All the family of 6, 10, 15, like inclusive of grandfather, parents, like that. All are living very happily. But there was a just everyone are cooperating each other. Only lack of things or the comforts only. But people loving relationship between all of them was so perfect, and they cooperate each other. And when there is a festival, all come together. They don't even hire the rented persons to come and work. Everyone do by themselves. And if there are any problems, the family members are there for each other. But nowadays, if one person leaves the family, and family is getting devastated because they lose one family member. Families of only 2 or 3 people or 4 people maximum. That should not be the case. So one should have, at least have, home should have 10 to 15 members, inclusive of grandfather, grandmother, and then family, brothers, sisters, and their families, wives, children. Likewise, if it is like that, the house doesn't matter whether it is small house or big house. The Lord will arrange all those things when we are in Krishna consciousness. The love should be there. Otherwise, they will be subjected to the threefold miseries. Even though it's a little family and everyone is sticking to the iPads, phones, and TVs, and then that's it. It's gone. They're entering into the miseries. It will be very difficult for them to come out. Very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. One should not have phones given to the children at any point of time, but that is the mistakes we have done without knowing to the consequences of it. Because they are in the very tender age. We have to give only what is required. And also if giving by the father with a responsibility. But mothers are always very soft nature. They will give whatever the children's wanted. But it needs to be given by the responsibility on condition. No, without condition, we should not give anything to anyone. That is what we have got. If you work, we get money, and we will get some food grains. Without, and we are using electricity and all the bills, we are paying the money. Everywhere there is a conditions. Similarly, we have to raise children. But however, whenever it comes to the love and affections, it should be natural. Okay, so but there are different angles. Many people have got different conceptions. Okay, so again, Prabhupada is mentioning, so one should always be in the God conscious, not the dog consciousness. If you are not become a servant of God, he will become a servant of a dog. The human form of life is distinct from that of a dog, perception of God consciousness. Nayam deho dehavajam duloke kastan kaman arhate vidbhujamye. So this is again Rishabhadev says, everyone will get the pains and pleasures. Kastan kaman arhate vidbhujanmye. Even the stool eating pig also gets. So he suggests that, my dear children, you engage yourself in the austerities. Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam. Engage in performing the austerity. Tapodhivim Putrakayena Sattam. Okay, so that is from this particular verse. This is Sukadeva Goswami is describing to Parikshit Maharaj about the genital and the sexual pleasure. Nirbijyata sisno vai prajanandamrutadinah upastasit kamanam priyam tad ubhayashriyam. genital and its presiding deity and sensual pleasure, they all got manifested from the Virata Rupa. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shall move to the Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Upendra, and June 24th, 1970, Los Angeles. Okay, Sanchita Mataji, would you like to read this letter as well, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, if somebody else wants to read, it's okay. Give chance to other devotees also, that's all right.
Anyone would like to read this letter?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
My dear Upendra, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt your letter dated 1970. We must stick to our Krishna consciousness business at all circumstances. This determination will make us successful. Although, according to the Vedic system, there are restrictions that boys and girls should not freely mix. The brahmacharis are strictly prohibited to talk with young women, but in the Western countries, these rules are not valid. As such, we have to accept both boys and girls in the same standard. But if each of us follows the regulatory principles and chanting the mantras heartily, there will be any chance of sex indulgence. So we have to be little careful about it, and Krishna will help us. I do not know why your wife has not yet got her visa. The devotees who are trying to join our movement may be called by some Vedic names, but ultimately change of uh, change of name will take place after first initiation. In the meantime, there is no harm in calling them by some sub suitable good names. Speaking 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 or anything, all depends on practice and study. I remember when I was first called for speaking by one of my senior godbrothers, I felt very much hesitating because I was not practiced to speak. Later on, my speaking and hearing or reading, I got experience, and now we can speak 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or 1 hour at a stretch. So we have to read our books very nicely and gather thoughts. Then we can speak for hours without any difficulty. It requires practice. So read your books carefully, especially Nectar of Devotion, now published, and practice speaking. It will be all right. The complete edition of the Bhagavad Gita as it is not yet published. It will be published soon. If you cannot pro- if you cannot procure mustard seeds oil, you may use olive or sesame oil. The the translating work cannot be transferred everywhere. It is not possible because for my regular work I require reference of books, which means I shall have to carry with me so many books and other things. So I have no objection to do this. But by such action, the work will suffer. But I can go to Australia when you are fully equipped for some time and again come back. I have never seen Australia, so naturally I am inquisitive. But in that case, provide you will have to provide for at least 2 months double journey. I wish that your center may be strengthened more and more. And if by the next January, as you have stated, you like me to go there, certainly I shall go for some time. The actress girl, Jenny, has arrived here. She has presented me one ballpoint pen, and she has also transferred traveler's check to the account of $500 to the society. She appeared to be a very nice, intelligent girl, and we are trying to engage her so some dramatical performance on the basis of Lord Chaitanya's pastime. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever Vilasha, Esi Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any reflections, Prabhuji, in here?
The long letter. Yeah, 2, 3 reflection. Two of them. First, one thing. The last the last line where I got it from is Prabhupada always wants us to engage our expertise, whatever Krishna has given us, the best of our ability to use for the Krishna consciousness. As the girl, she's a drama girl. She was expert in drama. She is using her dramatical, expertism to the Chaitanya's pastimes. Similar way, we should use our ability to for the Krishna consciousness. And other thing is, as always, Prabhupada is always very his first priority is the book. And Prabhupada is saying that we can speak, we can do anything, hours and hours, if we read book, Krishna conscious book, and practice again and again. Horrible Prabhu. This too is my takeaway point.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Nicely read and then explained. Okay, any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add? Sanjita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, there were a few other points also, like Prabhupada is mentioning the importance of like practicing as brahmachari when, explaining how the Vedic system worked, like with girls and boys not mixing freely. But he mentioned that in the Western world, this rule is not valid, and um, as such, like boys and we have to accept, like though he's not happy, but he has to accept. But he made sure, like initially, if he saw some brahmachari is inclined to some girl, then quickly he would get them married. But he said such desires will settle if we just follow the regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, and try to not indulge like in any kind of sex. And Krishna will generally obviously help us. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that the how our Vedic system was like to the Varnashram Dharma. First 25 years, boy, he was sent to Gurukul, so that he, and of course they were all men, so in that environment they could always study, learn the shastras, and if they had some other talents like to weapons, and also like we know how Lord Ram, Pandava, even Krishna, they went to their Muni's ashram and they learned so many different skills. So first 25 they spend doing that. So and then so that there is no distraction of other sex, and they learn the scriptures and every other thing properly. And then the next 25 years as grihastha. So they marry, beget children, raise them. So by 25 years, even the children grew up, and then move to the next stage as vanaprastha, leave kind of live a more austere life. And some, of course, go for sannyas after that if if the guru sanctions that. So Prabhupada was aware of that, but when he came to this world, Western world, he thought it's completely different. So at least to engage them, he wanted them to follow the four regulative principles, so that these at least some of the standard can be maintained. And then here change of names, because some Upendra, I think this devotee, he was disciple, he was not sure when the name gets changed. So Prabhupada said, yeah, it's okay because they might fancy these Vedic names, so you can call each other such names, but officially, I mean, that name is changed once a disciple gets initiated by the Guru, spiritual master. But it's okay, I mean, just calling name, there is no harm. Prabhupada mentioned that. And of course, like for speaking, as Prabhu mentioned, that we, I mean, need to read the books only. And initially Prabhupada mentioned his experience that I had like issues. I was hesitating to speak because I was not practiced to speak. But like when we read here, and then only the speaking comes. So then he said we could speak for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, even an hour. But all, and he asked to start with simple books like Nectar of Devotion, and then only go to like more books in depth, like for Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all that. So and he also mentioned slightly about oil. I think it was maybe because Upendra, he was Prabhupada's personal servant. He used to cook, massage, and do typewriting on all that for Prabhupada. So in that respect, he must have asked, like, if you cannot get mustard oil, then what other oil, like olive oil or sesame oil, is okay for cooking. And he also mentioned that Prabhupada, after like sorting out things, how the movement worked in the West, and then establishing temples and all his disciples, they were getting quite experienced. So he wanted to, and then he set up GBC also by that time. So he wanted all that administrative work to be maintained by them, and so that he can have his free time. Not free, I mean, he so that he translating books can be his regular work. And for that, he just wanted to remain in one place and not move, because he used to refer many books and it was difficult to carry. So Upendra, he wanted Prabhupada to come to Australia, but he said, I will come when you're fully settled. So Upendra and Balimardhan, they were these two disciples who went to Australia to set up this movement. Along with wife like Chitralekha and all. So I think he also mentioned about that, why is your wife not getting visa? So he said, I will only go when you have set it up nicely, because for me it's difficult to travel with so many books and reference, and it is much more difficult. So Prabhupada wanted to visit Australia. He said once things are more settled and temple and everything, then only he will travel. And here he mentions about an actress, Jane, um, who Prabhupada knew. As we always see Prabhupada, he is always able to see through the soul and then understand that so she's a nice, intelligent girl and we can engage her. So here Prabhupada mentioned about the skills she had to engage in Krishna consciousness. Later I read somewhere in this Desai that she joined the movement and she was called immediately, because when she went to a temple in Los Angeles, she was deeply moved by the spiritual practice, and she decided to join, and she was initiated very quickly. She was called Jagat Tarini Dasi, and she and like within 2 hours, like she met somebody, a devotee, and then she decided to marry just within 2 hours. I think it was Bhurijana Das. So here her family, they got like very surprised that she was a famous actress, how can she take such a radical step? So she mentions that you know yeah, today's generation, they mix with each other and then they decide whether they will become life partner. But for me, I decided that first I will surrender myself to the lotus feet of the Lord, select a devotee husband, and then carry on my life, leaving everything to Krishna. So she was able to do that, and she remained a devotee till her last breath. And no, she's still there. I mean, she also went to Australia and then helped Upendra and Balimardana in managing the temple. So they all we see like how nicely, I mean, and how quickly all Prabhupada's disciples, they I mean, and about speaking about Upendra, we see like how he came to this movement. One day, I think he was traveling somewhere, and then in the wind, paper came. So a flyer. So he picked it up, and he thought it was so much was written that he thought it must be some letter he must have picked from somebody's letter has fallen. But then he found out that it's a flyer, and it said stay high forever. So at that time Upendra, I mean, whatever his name was, he was on drugs. So he thought it must be something like so that thinking of that, he went to this place and found out about Prabhupada, Swami, and a little bit he started learning. And Prabhupada, he within 2 weeks he got initiated. And but I think he was still did not follow the regulative principles. He was living with a woman and taking drugs and all. Srupad said, like, that is not right. You should. That's why he's asking such questions. Like, you should either marry or not live like how you live in your society. That's not correct. When once you are initiated, so Prabhupada allowed him to stay with him, and that's how he became Prabhupada's personal servant, helping him, learning to cook and everything. He learned very nicely, and Prabhupada let him carry on for a long time. And initially, because Prabhupada was old, they got a personal massager so that they could massage Prabhupada. But Prabhupada said, "No, I do not need an expert masseur. I want my my disciples to learn and help me, because that personal contact, it flows, there's a flow of love in that, and I want that to be done." So Prabhupada initially taught Upendra how to massage on his body, and then he could allow that. And within few months, he was caught by the police, and he was jailed. He was supposed to be jailed for having marijuana with him for 3 months. He got very scared, and he ran to Prabhupada and confessed that I have done this. And Prabhupada was sitting there with his legs straight, stretched legs. So he stretched it more when he wanted to offer obeisances. Prabhupada put his leg on Upendra's head and said, Krishna will help you, and you will not have to stay so long. He'll be released within 3 days. So once he went to this jail, it was like, of course, horrible. People were eating meat. And Prabhupada also mentioned, like, if you do not get vegetables, you can allow meat. So we see how, in depending upon conditions, Prabhupada, I mean, tweaked his regulated principles a bit if required. So, but Upendra, he did not want to do that. He exchanged his meat with his other prisoners who were there in the jail, and he still continued having vegetables. He had his country and all. So this jailer, he thought he was a pious person, and then allowed, within few days he was uh, released from the prison. So he mentioned in his letter like how Krishna, like, Prabhupada is such a pure devotee that his Krishna intercepted in between, and within just few days he got released and came back, and he did not have to serve his entire term. So yeah, few of pastimes I thought I'll share with devotee Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly describing the pastimes of Upendra. Very nice to hear that. And also the actor's journey. And now she's Mataji and in the devotion service. Okay, so nice to hear. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add?
Yeah,
Okay.
Prabhu, I also remembered, one more thing, that he wanted, after being as Prabhupada's servant, he went to Seattle temple to set up a temple there. And he again wanted to come, he was happy, done there, and then he wanted to come back to be Prabhupada's personal servant. And he came back, and then they found out Prabhupada wanted to set up a temple in Australia. So he wanted to send Upendra. He did not want to go. So Prabhupada said a very nice thing. He said, looking after my old body is not very important. preaching is spreading Krishna's name and fame is more important. So better you go there and preach, which is the most important work. My old body, I mean, there'll be some other devotees. It's cooking, massaging, and typing is not very important work. Somebody else can do. So that's how he went there with Bali Mardana, and they set up the temple. So um, that was also one important message Upendra got from Srila Prabhupada. Just wanted to include that as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so there is so much of thing about the Padres disciples and pastimes, everything. Each disciple can make another very big book. Every devotee's story is like a big book. And there is nothing which is of material. Everything is nectarian. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, okay, so today, Saturday evening, we have got Bhagavad Gita session. Our speakers, Gaura Sangha speakers, are going to speak on the Bhagavad Gita at 7 p.m. And also just inquiring from the devotees. At the moment, I'm sharing the devotees' contributions, just masking the names, just so that names are not visible. Whether devotees wanted to display their names, or so kindly let me know so that I do not scratch it. But whenever we go to the temple, we just offer our offerings in the hundi, so that only Lord only knows and we know what we have offered in such a way. So I'm just keeping those names straight, not visible to any other people. So you know that one. Uh, is that I don't know if devotees wanted to have their names be displayed. Kindly let me know.
Yes, Prabhu, we appreciate that. I mean, it's okay that way. I mean, of course, that's my personal opinion, but I mean, as you mentioned, it's only the Lord should know. So uh, we do not have to display what we are offering. So I think we are okay with that. But yeah, of course, if some devotees want, you can.
No, you're right. It's fine. What Prabhu says.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Mhm.
And you wanted to put it in separate document and just write something like comments, this is what we have got and what distributed, something like that, or that simply statement is sufficient for everyone to okay, just because I'm just mentioning just one of I mean, like comparing to some of last I think a few years back, it was happened like putting in a document, something like that. So something kind of some thought uh, was mentioned to me. So, but I thought, whatever we are doing, it's simple. Let's not complicate it. Keeping things more complicated, it will tax our brain too much. Okay, so that is a simple thought I'm asking. Okay, for now, maybe later on, if a separate kind of pressure or something like that, this is too much of complex thing. I don't want to go into deep into more of those things. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. I mean, you're already doing so much, like collecting and then displaying, even scratching every time and doing it. So that takes a while. So you're already devoting so much of your time with like the sangha, and then also volunteering to collect Lakshmi on our behalf. So we are okay, Prabhu. Whatever statement they give, like that this has been donated from Gaura Sangha, we should not like account. I don't think it's needed to make, as you mentioned, to make things complicated. So yeah, of course you have the records, so if anybody asks, you can anytime show. But for us, think and there's so much this time, like one for Mayapur, one for here, three for Manor, so Narasimha Dev and Goshala and subscription. So think, I mean, whatever is the total collection, just big figures of how much is donated. Like that simple statement should be good enough, according to me. But that's my personal opinion, Prabhu. I mean, yeah, if somebody wants to have statement, then it's their desire. Though.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that's all from the updates point of view. And the devotees who wanted to still contribute, they have got today and until before tomorrow, the most auspicious days. Of course, there are no restrictions for it. And again, we are keep opening until Nityananda Trayodasi, until February. That comes in then another, I think 15, 16 days or so. Okay, that's all updates from me. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. And also just wanted to update that I'm going on to Kumbh Mela as well. I booked my tickets. Very quick decision. From Tuesday onwards, I'll be on Tuesday to next around 8 to 10 days. I would not be available here. And coming on Thursday, 6th of February. So just going with Meena Mataji, possibly going on different journeys, but I'll be meeting Mataji there.
Oh, Hari Bol. So happy for you, Prabhu, that Lord, you had the desire and Lord listened and yeah, made it materialize, happen. Very nice.
I just was inspired by Meena Mataji, so just felt okay.
Meena Mataji is so blessed. Like she has this, piety of going to so many dhams. Like every year or couple of years, she goes and visits so many dhams, and yeah, very, very, I mean, auspicious. Lord's mercy, of course. I mean, going to dham until the Lord calls. So yeah, you cannot go there.
Yes, and also this we don't get this opportunity to see in our lifetime again. So this is one thing. One also reflected, and then going to that when devotees are coming, that many devotees. Of course, devotees in the sense everyone has got the same motive. Of course, different motives are there. Liberation, moksha. That is the only thing everyone that is attracting everyone. 40 crores of people. Of course, there are different levels of people, but many devotees, such kind of people who have come to that point for that purpose, still we need to treat them as transcendental. So just they got a quick thought, and then okay, do not worry about the work, money, job, and family for the moment, and go. We don't get this time again. 144 years. Okay, so that way, just looking at Meena Mataji is going, and then I want just made a quick decision to go.
Yeah, just my husband like asked, like inspired me to go because I just came from India and went down like he said, yeah, go again. So it's nice of him to allow me to go again and do all this. Thank you, Prabhuji, you are also coming and which is really I'm so happy.
Thank you, Mataji. I don't know anything. I never traveled any city in India or outside alone. Now I'm just going.
Yeah.
I don't
No
learn.
worry, we will like Krishna because you are so pure devotee. Krishna will arrange everything and yeah, with us so everything will be fine.
Thank you so much. Hope that would be all right. Okay, and from coming to our Sangha, hope and coming so Tuesdays speaker our preaching practice sessions. Kishori Gokulanandani Mataji, she would like to volunteer something. So I asked Mataji that would you like to host the session? She said yes. So host the session means she will be present, sharing the screen and then just navigating the devotees and the speaker through the it is an opportunity for them also to be present and hear. But anyway, I will also be there in the usual sessions, and everyone also will be there who are attending. But Mataji will be more benefited. Okay, so and Saranya Mataji. So Kishori Gokula Nandini Mataji is going to host the sessions uh, for going forward as a commitment. Just I'm letting you know all the devotees here.
Prabhu, morning sessions who is doing?
Okay, morning sessions. We need I think Devashish Prabhuji or Sridhar Govindas Prabhuji, or we need one of the devotees to log in the morning. I mentioned to Devashish Prabhuji as well about my going. And for Saturday and Sunday also, I think Prabhujis will be there. Of course, you know the login details of this session. And, if it is okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone would like to do it as for next 10 days? Of course, it is in a commitment. When you are doing it as a commitment, you would see a different reflection. Sanchita Mataji, would you like to do?
No, Prabhu, sorry. I mean, this year is particularly busy with French show, with his 11 plus preparation and all. So this year it's not available. I'm not available to do that. Maybe if it's next year sometime. Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu. Is Radha Sivika Mataji available or we don't see her these days? Is she all right?
I think so. Mataji phone might not be working. She changed SIM. New phone is not working, it seems. She mentioned once, but after that, no contact. Okay, so that is from the updates point of view. Thank you so much, dear devotees. If anything you wanted to share, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move to the next part of our session, Vaikuntha descriptions. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are in the Vaikuntha, where the four Kumaras and the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally, he is speaking to the four Kumaras, and Jaya and Vijaya are there. In the last, I think, 16th verse, so Lord spoke to the Kumaras, glorifying the Brahmanas, but Brahmanas, they were not that much pleased because they were bitten by the Manjidashtanam, by the angry. Because of that, while even the Lord spoke, they could not understand. So they admitted that they have heard, and then by looking the Lord's presence and His beauty, they are very pleased. The Supreme Lord is speaking to us. In such a way, they are pleasing, and then, but they could not understand what Lord is speaking. So that one is it is Aghadavati. So Vigahya Aghada Gambhiram. The Lord speaks like in a deep way. Navidhu Tachikishitam. They could not understand. So, but they are now responding to the Lord. And then what they are admitting that Navayam Bhagavan Vidmaha Tavadeva Chikishitam Krutomi Anugrahasheti Yed Adyakshaha Prabhashase. Oh, my dear Lord, we are unable to know what you intended for us to do. For even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we have done something good for you. So, Krutomi Anugrahacheti Yed Adyakshaha Prabhashase. Likewise, they have admitted their innocence, or they could not understand. Okay, so and then further, they are glorifying the Lord. That, my dear Lord, You are always well-wisher of the Brahmanas and the devotees and the demigods. Likewise, just like all these Brahmanas, devotees, and demigods, everyone, they will always keep you as their life and soul and worship you. In such a way, they're glorifying. So that means whatever you say, it is well-being of the Brahmanas and everyone else. It will be good for everyone. In such a way, they're glorifying, even though they could not understand, but they admit that statement. So likewise, here Brahma is describing to all the demigods. The conversations are happening in the Vaikuntha. You see, the Kumaras are speaking today. ब्रह्मण्यस्य परं दैवं ब्राह्मणाः किल ते प्रभो विप्राणं देवदेवानां भगवानात्मदैवतम् ब्रह्मण्यस्य परं दैवं Brahmanyasya Param Devam, of the supreme director of the Brahmanical culture, Param Daivam, the highest position. Brahmanyasya Param Daivam, for Brahmanas, the supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu, he is the only worshipable deity. He is the supreme for all the Brahmanical culture. Brahmanaha Kilate Prabho, and Brahmanaha, the Brahmanas, Kilate for the teaching of others, they your and Prabho, O Lord, and also Vipranam of the Brahmanas, Devadevanam to be worshipped by the demigods, Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead, Atma, self, Daivatam, worshipable deity. So the Lord is the worshipable deity for all of these categories, Brahmanical culture, devotees, and also demigods. ब्रह्मण्यस्य परम दैवं ब्राह्मणाः किलते प्रभो विप्राणं देवदेवानं भगवान आत्मदैवतम. So they are saying that even though we don't know, but whatever you said, it is for our well-being of only, and for it is good for everyone. In such a way, indirectly, they are accepting the Lord's statements. So, okay, so the translation and purport is a small translation. Can I request any of the devotees to read the translation and purport, please?
Hare Krishna, can I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
O Lord, you are the supreme director of the Brahmanical culture. You are considering the Brahmins to be in the highest position is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the supreme worshipable deity, not only for the gods but for the Brahmanas also. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes. There are undoubtedly many demigods, the chiefs of whom are Brahma and Shiva. Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Brahma and Shiva, not to speak of the Brahm, Brahmans in the material world. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord is very favorable towards all activity performed according to Brahminical culture, or the quality of control of the sense and mind, cleanliness, forbearance, faith in scriptures, and practically and theoretically knowledge. The Lord is the super soul of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord is the source of all emanations, emanations. Thus, he is also the source of Brahma and Shiva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Director of the Brahmanical culture. So Brahmanas have got all the qualities. Shamaha, Damaha, Tapaha, Saucham, and Arjavam, Astikyam, and there are 9 qualities are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. That is the qualities of the Brahmanas. And so because anyone who takes to the worship of the Lord, so they are all on the transcendental platform. अहो वत्सोपचो अतो गर्यान्यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुः सस्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचूर्णं गृह्णन्ति एते. अहो but swapacho ato garyan. Even though he is a swapacho, he is performing Vattate Yajjihvagre Vattate Namutubhyam. He is chanting the names of Hari Hari. That means he has already done all kinds of pious activities in his previous life. Te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya. Te puhu tapaste juhuhu sasnurarya. Going for all the purificatory processes, austerities and penances. Brahmanuchurnama grunanti ete. So likewise, whoever is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamant, when um, this again in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chand Kaji, and Chand Kaji, his soldiers, they used to go and to stop the Sankirtana in the Navadvipa Dham, and they used to go and then they used to say, so even sometimes soldiers are saying to Kazi, saying that Kaji is asking, the Hindus, they're all saying Hari Hari, but why are you saying Hari Hari? Then these soldiers are admitting that sometimes I used to do the fun with these Hindus. They're always saying Hari Hari. Hari means in another way they're stealing. So we think that it's a stealing, and they're always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then by doing even for the fun sake, we are getting accustomed to chant the names of Hari Hari. We could not leave that Hari Hari. I don't know what kind of magic these people are doing. All these Hindus mantras, they're all addicting, and their medicines. I don't know. We don't know. They were mentioning that one. So that is even the Chandala also. These Yavanas are chanting like that. Hari Hari. They could not leave. Even Haram, something like that they say. So that is even the Chandala, they are uttering the name of the Lord. That means one has to understand that they have already gone all the purificatory processes. So, and what is that name? Is that belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes. There are undoubtedly many demigods, the chiefs of whom are Brahma or Shiva. They're always chanting. They're always chanting the names of the Lord. And Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Brahma and Shiva as well, not to speak of the Brahmanas in this material world. So when the Lord comes as a Vishnu, so then Suryami Tanyuktoham Haro Hariti Tadvashaha Purusham Vishwarupena Vishwam Purusharupena Paripati so he maintains this universe by taking the Purusha. Srujami Tanniyuktoham, and he only comes Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. No, he is not subjected to the just like ordinary birth of this material world. And even Brahma has come from the navel of the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Lord Shiva has appeared from the eyebrows of Brahma when he was angry towards the four Kumaras, as per Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, but Shiva is non-different from Krishna as well in the higher level perspective, but his function is different. So just like a milk and yogurt. So whereas Krishna is like a pure milk, Shiva is a yogurt for the purpose. There is a function for him. Okay, so he is the Lord of all Brahma and Shiva as well. As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord is favorable towards all activities performed according to the Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture is explained by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. So just going there, just so this is again in the 18th chapter. Okay, in the 18th chapter, the verse number I think 41. So
42, Prabhu. 1842.
42, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. perfectly remembering that verse. The devotees who understands this. Okay, so this is the Samah Tamah Tapah Saucham Shanti Arjham Evacha Jnanam Vijnanamastikam Brahma Karma Subhavajam. Mataji, would you like to recite this verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah,
Shama Damastapa Saucham Shantir Arjavam Evacha Yanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahmana Karma Swabhavajam. Hare Krishna. Shall I read this?
yes, Mataji.
Osama, peacefulness. Dhamma, self-control. Tapaha, austerity. Saucham, purity. Shantihi, tolerance. Arjavam, honesty. Eva, certainly. Cha, and. Jnanam, knowledge. Vijnanam, wisdom. Astikyam, religiousness. Astikyam, religiousness. Brahma, of a Brahmana. Karma, duty. Swabhavajam, born of his own nature. Translation: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmana works. Right.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, because of those qualities of Brahmana, and Brahmanas, they are not having any material desires to accumulate wealth, to work for someone else, and accumulate so many material comforts. So they do not have interest. They are always practicing these good qualities, Brahminical culture. So because of that, whenever Brahmanas are being worshipped, so for example, in the Rajasuya sacrifice, when many people or Brahmanas are coming, Krishna was engaged in receiving the Brahmanas. So, but what Krishna did when Brahmanas are coming, washing their feet and then sprinkling the water on top of his head and all everyone else. So that was the duty. So, Lord is always inclined to the Brahminical culture. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. He is always well wished of the demigods and also Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. And here, so the Brahmanas, they practice all these good qualities. The Lord is the super soul of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, it said Lord is source of all emanations. And thus he is also the source of Brahman Shiva. Can anyone say that verse? Lord is the source of everyone, or source of all emanations. Anyone recite that verse? Remember that verse that Krishna spoke to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, verse number 8. It is the first of Chatashloki Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers?
No, Prabhu.
Aham Sarvasya
Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. No, Prabhu, no.
Matta Sarvam Pravattate. Okay, so this is the Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. Yes. Okay, the Lord is source of all emanations. So, Yo Ahamsha, Yo Ahamsha Vibhu Swayam. So here, again, Brahma also mentions, you are the root of this Bhona. Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Bhona Dhrumaya. And Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, we are all three branches. So likewise, here Prabhupada is describing. So here the Lord is all the Lord of Brahma, Shiva, and Brahmanas, and everyone else. Okay, so I request dear devotees, you have got any reflections or you wanted to share on anything, ask any questions, kindly do so. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I opened this shloka 10.8, so maybe I can read it.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
not remember. Aham sarvasya prabhavaho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So in this perspective, I just wanted to share something like this week we were speaking to a family and trying to like on Kumbh Mela, there was like some discussion going on, like all the sadhus, they were in India, like they have some, the opinions are very divided. Some think the sadhus who come there, they have done so much austerity and going there, and some think, they are like the parasites of the society. Uh, like this is from coming from family. Some family members are the parasites. Like they wear 80 kilos. Some of them, not all sadhus, they're saying, but those bogus sadhus, they wear 80 kilo wear of gold in their neck, and they have got so much chela and big like a samrajya akhadas of their own, and they like behave like politicians and manage things, and in that way how they treat and all, uh, getting popularity in the Mahakumbh, stealing popularity. And the thing is like, he said, I mean, why do we have to consider them as brahmanas though? And then we were trying to explain that, I was trying to explain the 1842, that, it depends upon the quality, that it's not always like hereditary. Of course, they are Brahmanas and they have done some kind of piety, and they're like from generations, like families having the tradition as Brahminical, born in Brahminical family. But more than that, Bhagavad Gita says that Damas Socham, that shlok. So, that the peacefulness, austerity, control, and everything. So those qualities make a Brahman. And in ISKCON, there is this tradition of even a Muslim or born in a non-Brahminical family, they also acquire this and get in a second initiation become Brahman. So, but because they are not. They do not read the scriptures. Unfortunate, quite unfortunate, I would say. So they did not believe us, like me and Pala Prabhu were trying to say that, even Prabhupada, though they arguing that Prabhupada is Abhay Charande, and then this Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, Kedarnath Datta. So, I mean, they're going by their physical name, though, even though they're initiated and like they have their Brahminical thread, we could not make them understand that they are Brahmins. They're saying that they're claiming to be Brahmins. How can they be Brahmins if they're not born in a Brahmin family? So we found it very hard to explain, because we are referring to scriptures, but I mean, they're not listening. So I thought it's better sometimes to be quiet, not try. Maybe it's Lord's wish to remain them bewildered and not understand. So just wanted to share that, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. In the Kumbh Mela, we need to put a big speaker. Are you all thinking that you know everything? He is Krishna. Are you greater than Krishna? That you are speaking everything without connecting to Krishna and his instructions. If immediately just we need big speaker, if he announce in the Kumbh Mela, they may contemplate once again. I don't know. Just a simple thought. Okay, so but yes, until they read the scriptures, they do not gain the knowledge, and then they'll still stay in the darkness. But what they think, everyone, cat is always thinking, I'm a cat, I'm great, I'm a dog, I'm a, everyone has got a ego. I know this thing, I am this sadhu, I am Aghori, I am Naga sadhu. Likewise, everyone has got, I know everything. They will believe whatever they practice, they have a strong faith in their practice first. is that practice is according to the Vedic injunctions that matters. Of course, in the Vedic injunction, there are varieties of vratas and practices are given. If they are just going through some kind of thing, that is okay according to their consciousness. But here, what it is mean, dharmam sakshat bhagavat pranitam, Ishwarasya anumodataha. Is it approved by the Supreme Lord? What is the Lord is saying to Brahma? So, etan matam samatishta paramena samadhina Bhavan kalp vikalpeshu na vibhuhite kare chet. After speaking Chatushloki Bhagavata, oh Brahma, you always remember this one. Do not deviate. Aham evasam eva gre nan yad yasad asat param pashadaham yadiricha yo hishet sosmyaham. प्रत्यार्धम यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि यद् विद्यात्मनो मायं यथा भासु यथा तमः यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेषु नु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न त्वेष्वहम् एतावदेव जिज्ञासुं यत् तत्त्वज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यत् स्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. So in all times and circumstances, you know that I am the only Lord. Without, if you see anything which is appearing that it is disconnected to me and there is not my name, form, my activities are discussed and such kind of thing, it is in the illusion. It is a bewilderment. And I am also existing in a spiritual world and at the same time enter into each and every heart of all the Goloka Evanity Akilatma Bhoto. In such a way, one has to understand, after all their researches, understand so many scriptures, philosophies, everything, worshipping so many, that is the conclusive point. If they are not coming to that one, they are in the different levels of the Vedic injunctions or Shastras in their steps, coming to that Krishna consciousness. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudirlabhaha. So it takes some time for them. But this is again coming to Krishna consciousness, completely cleansing of all kinds of egos. That is gunas, all the qualities of the Lord. They are described completely free from ego and every kinds of negative things, which are of this materialistic nature. Many people are infected with I am person, I am sadhu, I am naga, I am agori, I know all these things. I am coming from Siddhashrama, but are they speaking Ishwarasya Anumodataha? Is it approved by the Lord? Then what is your value speaking about it? What is the purpose of taking this position as a sadhu if you are not speaking according to the instruction of the Lord? If you wanted to know what Lord has said, you have to read the scripture. You need to read from the Guru Parampara, bona fide Sampradaya. But and some people wanted to go in easy way, so and without performing those austerities, without giving up the sense gratification, they will go and take such kind of process and um, engage in the very hard penances. तदा परिचात्म समाधि योग भले निजित्व प्रकृतिं बलिष्ठां त्वामेव धीराः पुरुषं विशन्ति तेषां श्रमः स्यान्न तु सेवयाते. Those people go there and then giving up everything, taking the orange clothes and then performing brahmacharya and I will work as a sannyasi and then they will go through strong this sama tada parichatma samadhi in a very strong prakritim bhalistam, controlling the senses. It's not a easy task and going through sadhu and they have to go through so many troubles. But it is not possible for ordinary people to follow such kind of people if one person is going that. We are not saying that is wrong, but it is not common approach for the human in large population. It is not easy to follow. So we have to engage in the devotional service as Lord says. Situate, keep yourself where you are and engage in the devotional service. That is easy. And susukam kartum avyayam rajvidya rajaguhyam. Okay, so but
I have a question. Like, bhakti, when we say bhakti, is it one only when we say devotion to Krishna, or like bhakti can be like for a Shaivite who is a follower of Lord Shiva? Like, most of the, I don't know whether to say devotees or Aghori or whoever, like, or Har Har Mahadev, but they are saying they are in bhakti. So is it bhakti only represents to Krishna when we are serving at lotus feet of Krishna, or is it to like Shiva or any other devatas as well? So I wanted to ask that, Prabhu.
so bhakti, it is used only for Krishna, but it is yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti pitrurataha bhutan yanti bhutejha madhyajinapi mam. So Lord says yaji means worshipping, and here bhakti means it is completely detachment from all kinds of uh, materialistic things, whatever it is, yogic and anything else of the, we can name it, of the material thing. Renounce that one and surrender ourselves unto the Lord and offer everything to the for the pleasure of the Lord. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. Is it? Then it is called bhakti. But bhakti, if you are worshipping some master, there is a sense gratification. Bhakti cannot have any sense gratification or selfishness, self-interest. If one is going to the Shiva or Brahma for purpose of some kind of thing, sense gratification is exist, some contamination of sensual pleasure or desires that is there. It cannot be a pure bhakti. Bhakti is only applicable to Krishna, where no desires, no motive. Ahaituki apridhyata ye atma suprasidati yata bhaktir adhokshaje. That is bhakti, adhokshaje. Savai pumsam paro bhaktir yata, what is that verse? Savai pumsam paro dharmo. Anyone recite that verse? So that is para bhakti, the devotion unto the Supreme Person, adokshaje, to the Supreme Lord. That is ahaituki apritiha yayatma suprasidati. Then only he will be peaceful, and that is called bhakti. Bhakti lakshanam, that is again लक्षणं भक्तियोगस्य निर्गुणस्य उदाहृतम् अहेतुकी अप्रियः ययात्म अहेतुकी अप्रियः that one bhakti purushottami. So likewise Kapila Bhagavan explains Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya udahrutam. It is a nirgunasya. It must be whatever the service we are rendering, he must be nirgunasya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no material qualities. That is bhakti. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya udahrutam ahetukya aprihata, without motive, without interruption. Bhakti hi purushottami, that is the devotion unto the Purushottam. But other thing is not bhakti. It is kind of a, they may apply, but it is not pure bhakti. Mishra bhakti. There are some desires. Again, levels of bhakti is also there. Mishra bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Just one question.
Yes,
Like,
Mother.
I understand that if you are not bhakti, there is no desire or no any motive. But then, like, why, like Sukdev Goswami in Bhagavatam, there falls, like, there are some of the sloka, you can get this fall, you can get this austerity by doing this, like chapter reading this or listening this chapter, you will get this. So why Sukdev Goswami himself has given in that Bhagavatam of what you can get to reading or listening the katha, like so.
Yes, Mataji. It is a very good question. So because as soon as many people they know that Krishna Katha is all auspicious and to be heard, and then come here because they are coming from the materialistic things, materialistic life, social life. And then as soon as they hear, oh, is it? Or if I just hear Krishna Katha, then if I recite the 1 to 29 slokas of Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, 1 to 28, and then would I be free from all kinds of miseries? Oh, then I will recite every day. They will be connected. Some kind of cleanliness is happening in the mind. And then later on, if they are hearing about the Lord's Varaha pastimes, they will be free from even the killing of a Brahman. Oh, whether I will be free from all kinds of sinful activities, then I will also listen to this Varaha pastimes. Again, some more cleansing. And then once, if whoever is reciting the Brahma's prayers, third canto, chapter 9, 1 to 25 verses, then एतेन पुमान्त्यं श्रुत्वा स्तोत्रेण मां भजे तस्या सम्प्रसिद्धेयं सर्वकामवरेश्वरः. I will fulfill all of their desires. Oh, is it Lord is going to fulfill my desires? Yes, I will recite these verses and every day. Again, cleansing is happening. So here, people coming from different levels from the society, for them to get attracted. What is happening from the Canto 1 to Canto 9? It is a cleansing process gradually, but they're all in connecting to the Supreme Lord only.
Yeah, connecting to the Supreme.
Yeah, that way devotees are attracted by hearing the qualities. There is
Then
a
afterwards, like that will materials desire will gone, and then you will be more on that. But once you start with thinking of that, yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Yeah. So, for example, if you are reciting those verses, then the recitation and connecting to the Lord, you will derive so much of pleasure in such a way. What kind of desires I have got? These are not the desires at all. These are useless desires I have got, but let me be reciting these verses. Start Jagrihe Purusham Paurusham Bhagavan Mahadavihi Sambodham Sodasakalamado Lokse Surukshaya Yasyam Vasasyanasya Yoga Nidhramitanvataha. So likewise, reciting all these verses and Brahma's prayers, then one derives so much of pleasure. We cannot, so here, Prabhupada was mentioning here. Uh, so that how these things happens. What is that verse? Actually, Prabhupada is mentioning that statement. It happens by the Lord's desire. When we are engaging in the devotional state, these are all happens. Okay, where is that particular line? It happens supernaturally. Supernaturally. We do not have to surprise about it. That is the practical evidence. When we are seeing materialistic things way, but actually behind that the Lord's plan. One should not be surprised about it. It happens supernaturally when we are reciting everything in connection to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, discussing the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That happens. Then we will lose the taste for example, Meena Mataji recites very beautifully. Then Mataji recites these verses, and then internally the cleansing process is happening. And then the time is again very essential factor. Because we have got a few minutes. That minutes can be used either materially or spiritually. There is only one option. Either choose this way or that way. If I choose materialistic way, it is contamination. And here, purification. Purification means no more contamination plus purification more. It is going very fast. And also time is being utilized. If I have got 100 years, that time is already it is reduced. Now I have utilized it properly by discussing the topics of the Supreme Lord. That way, we derive more pleasure and attract and cleanse ourselves from the materialistic qualities. Otherwise, material things, ayurharate vaipumsam uddhinnastam janasu tasyadhyatchanunita uttama shloka vartaya. Everyone's life is being subtracted by the sun, by sunrise and sunset, except the devotees who are discussing the topics of the uttama shloka vartaya.
Yeah, it is like through Maharaj's story as well. He went to do the tapa for to get some desire that he has to. But then once he has done bhakti, he just don't want anything. So,
Yes.
but to start with the desire, then it just come out afterwards. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, through Maharaj is something different. We cannot compare. But I'm just saying that example.
Yes, Mataji. He admits that one. After seeing the Lord, the beauty of the Lord. Lord is always there in his beautiful form, but the way of vision is different every day. We are seeing the Lord here, Radha Madhava. Every day we are seeing, but the vision it changes every moment. The purificatory thing it changes our vision. Gaurangi Mataji sings, O Rupa Lavanya Rasi, Amiya Pariche Kasi, something like that. O Rupa Lavanya Rasi. It is the beauty of, if we collect all kinds of beauty of this world and put it one together. So Krishna and Radha Krishna, that is Rupa Lavanya Rasi. As soon as we see the Lord, like Dhruva Maharaj, he was saying, Chumba Nivasena, Aslishava, Bhujeriwaslishan. So there, Drubhyam Prapasyan Vibhavan Ivadbakaha. As soon as we see the beauty of the Lord, drink the nectar. Drubhyam Prapasyan Prapiban Iva Arbakaha. Just like a child is drinking through his eyes. Chumba Nivasyena, kissing with the mouth, the Lord's beauty. And everything is happening. The Dhruva Maharaj is Bhujai Riva Aslishan, going and hugging him and kissing him. Just tam atmadehi dushtibihi antaratmana dhuranta bhavaha parirebhire patim. Krishna's wives, as soon as they see Krishna when he is entering into the palaces, by sending their children to Krishna, tam atmajayihi dushtibihi, by looking with their eyes, antaratmana, in the heart, duranta bhavaha parirebhire patim. Even though they are not needed to the Lord to hug physically, but they can do it through their eyes, in the heart, by sending their children to the Lord. That is how one has to embrace the Lord, kiss Him, and drink the beauty of the Lord. Dhruv Maharaj was doing all these things. As soon as when he did Dandavat Pranam, Vinamay, Avandatanga Vinamaya Dandavat. And then by looking at the Lord, he was doing all these things, even though he is standing in front of the Lord. So once he comes to that test, he will forget about all the materialist things. He will relish. So every word is kind of a Vedic kind. So there is in the Brahma Samhita also it mentions. Okay, so every step is a dance, every word is a Vedic hymn. That pleasure is transcendental. Is there any degradation? Today I have spoken one verse, tomorrow I speak the same verse, and again. There is no kind of boring thing. And devotees, whoever is hearing, they're also relishing. They also wanted to try and do it. And hearing again and again. And then whenever an opportunity to recite the verse, everyone take pleasure in reciting it. What is that desire behind it? Why? What is inspiring them? What is the impetus for it? When we see all these things, the Krishna is the main ingredient in everything. Okay, so that is the beauty of it. Okay, so any other thoughts? So it took a bit more time, Mataji, to explain.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry, what did you ask me to do? You say something, Prabhuji?
For you were asking that I was explaining more. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but still, like, you have to start with it. Like, as that's why Sukdev Goswami has given that all this verse that you think, like, all this chapter reading this, and yeah, and then once you start, and then once you get the pleasure, then that will be gone, and
yes,
yeah. But at least he has given all this remedy, like, doing this, chanting this chapter, like, listening this chapter or katha, then you can get this benefit or things like that. Mm.
yes, Mataji. So because we are coming from the society, we have got small desires we wanted to fulfill in the heart, somewhere other deeply rooted. When we see such kind of palashrutis, we feel very happy about it.
Yeah, then you get happy. So, like, people, like, by doing this, really they get it, or yeah, of course, that because Sukdev Goswami has written, so of course
Yes,
they.
yes,
But
they do. Yes, they do.
okay.
They do get it.
Mhm.
But they have to do it with firm faith.
Yeah, full faith. Yeah.
Yes, there are mantras. If we chant by the mantras, one can invoke the fire. He can control the water.
Mm-hmm.
Those are many things are there.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen that some person, some Brahmin is chanting the mantras and invoking the fire?
No, I haven't seen.
Yeah, some Brahmanas. I think there are many videos as well. He was chanting those mantras and invoking the fire. Immediately fire come and blaze.
Wow. Okay. Like in Kumbh Mela. I mean, or.
Not only in Kumbh Mela, many other places. Number of times
Mhm.
I have seen that one
Okay.
in performing without using matchbox.
Oh, without using matchboxes, Agni, like, come on.
Yes,
And then he walks on Agni. Okay, fine.
yeah, even without using arani. Arani is the tool which is used to blaze the fire, a wooden tool. Even that is not used. Just only the sticks are there and ghee is poured and that. But only thing is fire needs to come. So by chanting the mantras, they invoke the fire. It will come. It is again how powerfully we have to chant with firm faith. That matters on the person who is chanting.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we have got complete, that is Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya, Maam ekam saranam braja. But how much faith we have got on it,
Mhm.
that also depends.
Okay.
So when Lord says that one, still we say that I have got a family, I have got a job, I have to maintain this family. So many things we'll put in those things. Mm. But it is a matter of duty because we are still materially embodied. We are यथा गावनसि प्रोताः तञ्चं बद्धानामपिः वः तञ्चं बद्धानामपिः वहिं बलिं वहन्ति बलिमीशितुः. We are all strongly tied up with the Vedic injunctions. We got material body. We need to engage. Okay, so that way all are conditioned.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, we can't even give up anything to go and then Prabhupada is give everything. And he just said to Krishna, whatever Krishna says. And yes, Prabhu, sometimes you have to say surrender, but how? I can't give up anything that no material so much
That,
to get
yes,
that
Mataji.
Krishna's mercy, Prabhu.
It is
Yes.
just only, we do not have to give up anything. We have to give up indriyadhesu vairagyam. Indriyadesu vairagyam, not the indriyas to give up or body give up. Only indriya adeshu, what is the sense objective? That needs to be given up. Sense gratification needs to be given up. still engage in the devotional service.
Yes, yes, Prabhu, yes. The sense gratification, yes, has to control all the senses and indriyas. Then, yes, you have a little bit can detach to the material.
Yes, Mataji. Still, we carry out the day-to-day duties, but just only that thing, Indriya Deshu Vairagya.
When you're listening katha or something at that time, you just feel, oh, yeah, something. But then afterwards, once you realize reality again, you come and the material is like in a life, which is again you thinking about the materialist side and how to come out from that.
Yes, Mataji, that is true. Again, this is Sangha dosha. That's why one always desire to have devotees association. Bhavadvida Bhagavataha Tidbhotaha Swayambhivo Tidhi Kurvanti Dhani Swantaha Tena Gadabhrata. They keep devotees, they keep the Lord in their heart all the time. And wherever they go, they make the place as a Tirtha. We need to associate with such kind of devotees. And there, Bhu, what Parikshita Maharaj also mentions that I wanted to have only your devotees association. Always Krishna Katha will be going on. That way, um, what is that? Yaduttama shloka parayana, uttama shloka parayana janaha, and association of those devotees. And association can happen by rendering the service. Rendering service means I wanted to serve your devotees of devotees like that. That way it happens for longer time. But if you are just simply hearing without rendering service, just hear and go. And then again materialistic things because there is no service. But when we are at home, as much as possible, we invite the devotees and then do bhajans and feed them nice prasadam regularly, once in a week, or if it is not once in a month, if it is not once in a 3 months, at least. We are doing so many things, but except these things, inviting the devotees to home, feed a little bit of prasadam. We used when I was childhood, around 12, I think 13 to 4 to 15 years, something like that. And there was kind of a bhajans are happening. Just it is not we are rich. It is very difficult to even to eat as a family members. Though we used to call them and do bhajans, and they, what we used to do, take some this chipped rice and then just soak it with water, add little bit of sugar and then a little bit of coconut powder in it, and then that is prasadam. Give everything a little bit. Bhajan is done, prasadam is done, and we talked about the Lord for some time, and that people are very happy. Every week it's happening. Prasadam is a
Wow.
little bit.
Yeah, it's so nice. In this like country still can happen, but it's just we have to commit our time and everything.
Yes, yes. Of course, the devotees they are chanting and who are following the regulative principle chanting, they would hardly find the time. But we used to do that one. There was not chanting and not much of engagements. At the time, it was possible. But at least, though it is not every day, at least once a week, if it is not once a month, if it is not once a 3 months.
Yeah, but like here, like when you go at the like devotee's house, they make full prasadam and things like that. And so, if you somebody want to call, still you just feel like only give just small things. How can so?
But here, that is, prasadam is there. But main thing is the devotees association must be there. And if you wanted to make that is simple as that. We do not keep that I need to prepare sabji and rice and one kind of curry and puri and halwa, so many things. We do not have to keep very simply. I wanted to do the Hari Bhajan, that is important. And then prepare prasadam, one simple pulihora or lemon rice or sweet rice. Only one or two items are there, that is sufficient. And then just bring the fruits. As simple as that. We do not have to worry too much about it. First, is the devotees association is happening or not? That is important. If it is very difficult even for that one, just cut the fruits and put it and give it to fruits and juice. That is also sufficient. Even if it's just preparing one rice, that is also just fruits are sufficient.
So
Or
like we are in the Zoom right now and having association like Saturday and everybody gathering. That is sufficient or not? It's good to call devotee at home. That is good.
June, we are hearing Krishna Katha. It is going internally, but we are not engaging physically something. But even in the bhajans, in the temples, we have got temples in the Rama temple. Early morning we do bhajans. At the time, the pujari he prepares the sweet rice, jaggery sweet rice, just only one item, not many items, only one item. That is sufficient. He will give in the handful of prasadam in everyone's hand. They will eat it and derive more happiness. That is also there. That is at least as a minimum thing. If you are doing little bit more, if you prepare another pulihora or lemon rice, it is also very easy. It's not difficult task. And giving in another hand, another handful of rice, it will fill the tummy. But engaging physically is also required. So, thank you, Mataji. So this is the Lord is okay. Coming to again back to our verse. So the Lord is the director of the Brahmanical culture. Gaurangi Mataji, would you like to add anything, Mataji? You do many things. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I think we are past many minutes. And the dear devotees, if you have got anything to add, please kindly add. Otherwise, we shall conclude and continue with further japa.
Hare Krishna Prabhu and Meena Mataji, wishing you all like a happy yatra to Mahakumbh Mela. Of course, it's a very precious opportunity once in a lifetime. So hope you have a nice bathe in Maganga and keep us all of us in your prayers here. Hare Krishna.
Maybe we can bring some water and give a sprinkle on the water to everyone, wherever
Yeah.
it is.
Sangam.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Have a nice yatra and keep us in our mind when you just have a bath. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Let's all, please unmute and say three loud Hari Bols to Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Haribo. Haribo.
Hari
Haribo.
Able to other devotees. Thank you, Mataji. So, but still, though we are there, and we still feel the separation from the devotee Sangha here.
But I'm so pleased that you are coming so we can get more association like over there as well. So it's really good
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you are coming.
I will carry my Bhagavatam book as well. Without Bhagavatam book, day is not complete.
Mataji, did you manage to get trains from there? Like how are you traveling?
Yeah, from Delhi, there is a foreign quota, like for international people, they give you the foreign quota, and then from there you can get the ticket easily with showing your passport and things like that.
Oh, okay. Because Pala Prabhu, he had a lot of desire as well. Like, he was telling from 1 month, but he's trying to like contact his family in India for, arranging trains. But from India, when they're trying, so
Yeah,
I
I saw
didn't
it.
know about this. So when he's trying when his family, he's trying from India, his brother and all. So all the trains are full. So
Yes,
to
yes,
travel
that's
from
happened.
Delhi to Prayag, he's not getting communication. So Yeah.
No. This was every time. It's you have to book in advance, like 2-3 months. Like people
Yeah,
who are
yeah. That's
like
what
over there, they have to do.
he's
But
been trying for 1 month, but still, I mean, after 1st of March, you're getting, but I mean, now he's not finding any. So he wanted to go with like his one of his family member there.
yeah,
But of course, like if you're traveling with family, then they need to have, train tickets or something to travel.
yeah.
So there,
So yeah,
then
so for if he is traveling with somebody, then I don't think other person can get the ticket. It's only this foreign passport holder or things
Mhm.
like they can get
Where
it.
is that information, Mataji?
I say just once you go in the New Delhi, like railway station, main railway station.
Mhm.
So like I have traveled like lots in India like before in November when I went to, so I made so many yatras there. So I was like getting tickets was full, like booked and waiting list and things like that. Even you can ask agent and they cannot do anything. So then somebody has advised that if you go on direct to the like station, and there is international quota which is upstairs like first floor, where you
Okay.
can ask for the foreigner, and then they can like straight away, even though so many waiting lists for month and month, but straight away I got the ticket from there
Is it
same day,
in the
like within
airport
1 hour.
or